Live from New Delhi, watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Prasar Bharati. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Nalanda University's new campus in Rajgir in eastern state of Bihar. Says Nalanda is a symbol of India's academic heritage and its rejuvenation symbolizes the might of emerging India. Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un vow to aid each other if either country is attacked. Pentagon concerned by deepening Russia-North Korea cooperation. And Cyril Ramaphosa is sworn in for a second term as South African president. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un held talks in Pyongyang on Wednesday during a state visit by the Russian leader to North Korea. Putin's advisor said on Wednesday that in the one-on-one format, the two leaders intend to discuss the most important and most sensitive issues. Large groups of North Koreans gathered to welcome the two leaders at the event. This is Putin's first visit to North Korean capital in 24 years, and experts believe that his visit has the potential to drastically alter decades worth of relations between Russia and North Korea at the time when both nations are isolated internationally.
We highly appreciate your consistent and unwavering support for ASEAN policy, including the Ukrainian strand. I am referring to our fight against the hegemonic policy imposed for decades, the imperialist policy of the United States and its satellites against the Russian Federation.
The government of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea expresses full support and solidarity with the Russian government, army and people in carrying out a special military operation in Ukraine to protect their sovereignty, security interests as well as territorial integrity.
And DD India's Dasha Chernyshova joins us live from Moscow for more. Dasha, Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have signed a new agreement which includes a promise of mutual aid. Any information on what sort of aid is this and what latest you have on this?
Well, indeed, we have heard the confirmation from the Kremlin that the two sides have indeed vowed to provide mutual assistance if either of these states is attacked. That's according to the latest comprehensive strategic partnership agreement that was signed by the heads of Russia and the DPRK. We understand that the DPRK leader Kim Jong-un said this document is peaceful in nature and defensive. The Russian president has also noted that this document is profound and really needed. The Kremlin says that this document is needed because of the significant changes that the geopolitical situation has recently seen. And we understand also that this document is also providing for a series of other areas of cooperation between the two sides, that is also in the area of tourism, education, and Moscow strongly says that this document, even though Moscow does reserve the right for Russia to continue and to have some sort of military technical cooperation with North Korea, it also is in line with the international law. Now, this is the issue that many in the West have been saying contradicts the sanctions regime that has been imposed against North Korea, but Moscow says it knows that regime very well and it abides by the international law.
Okay, Dasha, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said accusations that Russia and North Korea are building an anti-Western alliance are completely incorrect. On the other hand, NATO is also concerned over Putin's visit to North Korea. How do you assess this?
Well, certainly the Russian president traveling to North Korea has attracted a lot of attention, and especially in the West, that is fearing that these two countries could be cooperating with Russia, possibly providing some technology to North Korea. North Korean exchange, as the Western media report, providing shells and munitions for Russia. Those allegations have been dismissed by both sides, but certainly the continued exchanges and the visits by the heads of these two states are very worrying the West. At the same time, we also understand that Moscow and Pyongyang both are under the Western sanctions, and Moscow has been constantly saying that the hostile rhetoric of the Western countries, for instance, the US and South Korea, the drills they conduct, they only provoke Pyongyang for more response. So the understanding is very clear. These two countries are trying to be part of the multipolar world order.
Okay. Thank you so much for all those details. Dasha, thank you so much for joining in. Vladimir Putin later on took North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for a drive in a luxury Russian-built Urus limousine during a pomp-filled visit to Pyongyang after presenting one of the luxury cars to Kim as a gift. The jaunt took place after the two leaders signed an agreement deepening their military cooperation to include a mutual defense pledge to help each other if attacked. Meanwhile, the United States has voiced concerns about closer ties between Russia and North Korea, saying that deepening cooperation between the two countries is of concern for anyone that's interested in maintaining peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula.
Cooperation between Russia and the DPRK is something that should be of concern, especially to anyone that's interested in maintaining peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula. But also supporting the people of Ukraine as they continue to fight against Russian aggression. And so, of course, you're well aware of DPRK providing ammunition and weapons to Russia that's been able to help them perpetuate their illegal and unprovoked war against the Ukrainian people. So it's something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on.
South Africa put on a display of pomp and ceremony on Wednesday as Cyril Ramaphosa took oath as country's president for a second term that sees African National Congress ANC sharing power with other parties after it lost majority in parliament. African heads of state and dignitaries gathered outside the union buildings in Pretoria for the swearing-in ceremony. Ramaphosa will head with five other parties, including the pro-business Democratic Alliance. The United States renewed a warning on Tuesday that it is obligated to defend its close treaty ally a day after Filipino Navy personnel were injured and their supply boats damaged in one of the most serious confrontations between the Philippines and China in a disputed shoal in the South China Sea.
We're going to continue to stand with our Philippine allies. We condemn the escalatory and irresponsible actions by the PRC to deny the Philippines from executing a lawful maritime operation in the South China Sea. And as you've heard Secretary Austin and others say, the Philippines' rightful legal maritime claims must be protected.
China and the Philippines blamed each other for instigating Monday's hostilities in the second Thomas Shoal, which has been occupied by a small Filipino Navy contingent aboard a grounded warship that has been closely watched by Chinese Coast Guard, Navy and suspected militia ships in a years-long territorial standoff. There's a fear that the disputes long regarded as an Asian flashpoint could escalate and pit the United States and China against each other in a larger conflict. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new campus of Nalanda University at Rajgir in the eastern state of Bihar on Wednesday. The university is conceived as a collaboration between India and East Asia Summit countries. The ceremony was also attended by India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and the head of missions of 17 countries attended the inauguration ceremony. The university offers postgraduate and doctoral research courses. The Net Zero campus is located close to the ruins of the ancient Nalanda University. Speaking at inauguration ceremony, Prime Minister Modi said that Nalanda is a symbol of India's academic heritage and vibrant cultural exchange.
नालंदा ये केवल नाम नहीं है, नालंदा एक पहचान है, एक सम्मान है, नालंदा एक मूल्य है, नालंदा एक मंत्र है, गौरव है, गाथा है, नालंदा है उद्घोष इस सत्य का कि आग की लपटों में पुस्तकें भले जल जाएं, लेकिन आग की लपटें ज्ञान को नहीं मिटा सकती।
Prime Minister Modi also visited the ruins of Nalanda University. The original Nalanda University is considered to be amongst the first residential universities in the world. The ruins of Nalanda were declared as a UN Heritage Site in 2016. Established during the Gupta Empire era, its faculty members included renowned Buddhist scholars. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. June 21st is observed as International Day of Yoga, and we show you how people across the world have incorporated yoga in their lifestyle. And we get you all the updates from 2024 Mumbai International Film Festival.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
You're watching DDN Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. A high-level U.S. congressional delegation, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, met with spiritual leader Dalai Lama in India's picturesque Dharamshala. The trip comes days after Congress passed the Resolve Tibet bill that would become an act after U.S. President Joe Biden's signature. The bill seeks China to start a dialogue with Tibetan leaders to find a solution to the dispute over the status and governance of Tibet. Speaking during a public reception in Dharamshala, the leader of the bipartisan delegation, Michael McCall, who also chairs the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, said they would not allow China to influence the choice of successor of Dalai Lama. And now to all the updates on the International Day of Yoga, which will be celebrated on 21st of June. Ahead of the main event of the International Day of Yoga being held in Srinagar in Kashmir Valley, with India's PM Narendra Modi attending the event, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir talked exclusively to DD India's Jessica Taneja in Srinagar. The LG talked about the significance of yoga and how a new form of awareness has come about in the last 10 years, especially in the Kashmir Valley as well as the rest of the country.
पिछले 10 वर्षों में योग को लेकर के एक नए प्रकार की जागरूकता पूरे देश में आई है और जम्मू कश्मीर में भी आई है, खासतौर से कश्मीर वैली में भी आई है। वैसे तो 5000 साल पुराना ये मुझे लगता है कि भारत के लिए अमूल्य उपहार रहा है और मन और तन दोनों में एकात्म कैसे स्थापित हो, मुझे लगता है कि योग से बेहतर इसका कोई समन्वय नहीं कर सकता है।
Yoga is recognized as a form of mind-body medicine that integrates an individual's physical, mental and spiritual components to improve aspects of health. Therapeutic yoga offers even more benefits. DD India's correspondent Kriti Vadhera has more on this.
Therapeutic yoga is a personalized approach to yoga that focuses on the specific health needs of an individual. It combines traditional yoga practices such as asanas, the postures, pranayama, the breath control and meditation with modern medical and psychological knowledge.
If patient came to us for different type of disease, different type of pain, different type of anxiety, bipolar disease, right? So what we can do is we provide the therapeutic session which is come across the Ashtanga Yoga Sutra, and if we go for a yoga sessions, so our first motto is how to settle down to the patient and our people, and I'm so glad to see the benefiting of yoga practice. After the patients, once he came out the session, he feel relaxed mentally, physically and emotionally also.
This form of yoga aims to improve overall well-being, manage or alleviate specific health issues and support recovery from illness or injury.
I am suffering from a rarest disease called Schumann's disease, where your backbone gets tilted towards around 52 degree. And once I've joined yoga, it's been I think 3 months now. My body is more flexible. I am able to attain a proper posture. I was not able to sit for long hours, but now I'm able to sit. So for me, it's been a blessing.
I had major severe jaundice and anxiety issues, and yoga has helped me a lot in my life. And after that, I can see that I can socialize with people more and I feel more calm and composed, and it has made me more peaceful.
Today's life is very hectic, so work-life balance is very difficult. So for me, like doing yoga makes me stress-free and definitely my mind full of energy and positive thoughts.
Therapeutic yoga can be beneficial for a variety of conditions, including chronic pain, anxiety, depression, cardiovascular diseases, and muscular issues. It's typically guided by a trained yoga therapist who can assess the practitioner's needs and create a safe, effective practice plan.
Yoga is not just a practice, but it is a path towards healing and harmony. From ancient roots to modern applications, yoga still continues to be the beacon of hope and health for all. With camera person Shiv Suman, I'm Kriti Vadhera reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
Yoga is more than just physical exercise. It's a comprehensive practice that promotes overall health and harmony. Originating from India, yoga has attracted a major global attention, becoming an integral part of people all around the world. DD India's Priya Yadav gets you more in the next report.
Deeply rooted in Indian philosophy, yoga now finds its widespread acceptance in Western parts of the world as well. From finding a mention in Rig Veda to the present-day 21st century, yoga has come a long way. It has now taken the Western world by storm. Today, yoga has secured its place among the world's most popular fitness activities, speaking volumes of its speedy acceptance among people. It has been accepted by people of all ages, religions, ethnicities, making it a perennial gift of Indian wisdom to the world. On the 11th of December 2014, the United Nations General Assembly designated June the 21st as International Yoga Day. Not only this, interestingly, a Guinness World Record was also created at the UN headquarters in 2023, where the International Youth Day event led by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi saw the participation of 135 nationalities in New York City, which is the most in one yoga session.
I want to recognize Prime Minister Modi for all he has done to promote understanding of yoga and its many benefits. Yoga unites. It unites body and mind, humanity and nature, and millions of people across the globe for whom it is a source of strength, harmony and peace.
It also made a presence during the G20 summit last year, as yoga postures were adorned at the walls of Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, which is the convention complex where the summit was held. Ahead of the International Yoga Day this year, participants immersed in a unique experience, practicing yoga amidst the iconic backdrop of the Statue of Liberty, Brooklyn Bridge, the United Nations, and the Empire State Building. Yoga is a major source of the country's cultural export that highlights India's growing influence globally.
The message being given by our Honorable Prime Minister also is loud and clear, that we give the world the art and science of yoga.
In difficult time, I come back to yoga.
India is the place to spread spirituality across the globe.
Standing as the pinnacle of India's soft power projection, it has the capacity to foster connection among countries, cultures, and communities.
The dissemination of yoga across the entire world highlights India's underlying commitment to the promotion of health and wellness across the world. It not only underscores and strengthens bond between individuals, but also highlights an inner commitment by connecting the mind and body. With camera person Mohit, this is Priya Yadav reporting for DD India.
And USA pacer Saurabh Netravalkar showed off his yoga skills on top of his brilliant performance in this T20 World Cup. India-born Netravalkar has come under the spotlight of attention. Here are exclusive visuals of Netravalkar performing yoga. The Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Centre InSpace has launched a pre-incubation entrepreneurship development program to support and nurture early-stage space startups. The 21-month program aims to guide aspiring entrepreneurs through distinct phases of ideation, innovation and prototype development. DD India correspondent Meghna Dev speaks to Chairman of InSpace, Dr. Pawan Goenka, for more.
What we are doing with the PI program is to create new startups. So go down to sort of college level and create enthusiasm about space activities and select a large number of possible future startups. We will select about 75 and we work with them for about 6 months to cull out about 20 programs from there and support them as a startup. So in a way we are creating startups rather than working with established startups. The total program will be about 21 months. There are 3 phases. The first phase is ideate. That means just come up with some ideas. Second is innovate. So take the idea to some innovative proof of concept. And third is demonstrate to kind of prove out the idea. And then it goes into normal fundraising and so on and so forth.
How many startups do you see are doing well? What is the scenario in the ecosystem?
See, number of startups that we have now is over 200. And I think that's a good number. I would say at least a dozen startups now have reached a certain level of maturity from which they can start feeling that yes, very soon they will see serious revenue, serious investment, and hopefully soon profits.
Anything on the transfer technology sector that is being enabled by InSpace?
See, that's one of our biggest thrust area. Because I personally believe that ISRO has a treasure of technology, which the private sector can benefit from a lot. Both those who are in space area and those in other industries also, such as automotive, drones, medical devices, and so on and so forth. We have had pretty good success in the first part, where now I think we have transferred something like 55 technologies to private sector. And we are not just transferring, we are also going to be monitoring to see what happens to it. It's not we sign the MOU, we give a piece of paper, we are done. What to make out of it, how do we ensure that this technology then leads to some kind of product which the private sector can take forward.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us.
Always.
So here we have the chairman of InSpace speaking to us about the PI program that InSpace is introducing to probably support as well as nurture startups specifically in the space sector. With camera person Lakshman Rajput, this is Meghna Dey for DD India from Ahmedabad.
And now all the updates on the 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival. A National Award-winning director, Nimal Shah, shared his filmmaking tips at 18th MIF, suggesting on exploring life as a game, it will help filmmakers in their creation. He added that a filmmaker should create passionate films for themselves and it will find its destiny eventually.
Mantra, I think it's just about creating. You find ways to create what you want to create, and I mean it's a difficult art form. It's an expensive art form, but you have to find your ways to create it. So I think that's the most important thing, because a lot of times we forget. I mean we get into a lot of resource-driven things where we can't focus on our main thing, which is to create. So yeah, to create is the main mantra.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.